Hey, this is Daniel for Adorama. I'm here in my studio in New York City with Nurlan, and I figured since I had her here, I wanted to try something. I had read a while back that Da Vinci said that in order to get the most depth in painting, you want the shadow from your subject to be the same length as their height is in the shot. So I thought, well, that'd be interesting to try in photography and see what kind of lighting that actually creates. So I'm gonna do a couple of different things here. I've just got a single head with the reflector in it, and we're gonna set it up to give a shadow that is the same length as Nurlan, and we're gonna see what that looks like, how that light falls on her face. So we'll shoot something like that. And then I'm gonna actually make a longer shadow, I guess, and a much shorter shadow, and we'll see, how that changes the shot. Okay, so I just have Nurlan standing here and I've got just a reflector on the head, nothing fancy, just giving that long shadow. And I'm just kind of eyeballing and I'm, putting my fingers here and then like this, and okay, it seems like the same length, so it should be pretty good right here where we're at. So this is the wide shot here. I'm gonna come in and just shoot a closer shot of her face to see what this light actually looks like. I'll leave everything else the same. It's kind of cool, actually. It's got nice depth and shadow across the face. I will say this, it's a kind of a hard light, which isn't necessarily the best thing in the world for beauty, so maybe we'll just introduce, Dave's got the Scrim gem here, we'll just introduce the Scrim gem in between, and we'll see if we can, of course by introducing this, that doesn't change the direction of the light, so it should be the same. I'm just gonna give it a little more power and we'll see what this looks like. Cool, it's actually really nice, it creates a nice depth. It's a little more shadowy on the face than I typically would do for a female subject, but it actually looks pretty cool. But now we want to mix it up a little bit. Now I want to make the shadow, I guess, longer. And the way to do that, I think, is just to lower the light. So I'm going to come back here, go wide again with the lens. And let's see. So this should be interesting because longer shadows would be something that you'd have, let's say, at night, near the end of the day, like during the golden hour. So you would typically think this might be nicer, but we'll see. Cool, so now the shadow's longer, let's come in closer. Again, I'll do it with the hard light first. Good. Okay, it's not that different, but we are starting to get some shadow penetration into the eye, so that's actually kind of interesting. And let's try with the softer light. Cool. So what I'm noticing here mostly is that because we're getting shadow penetration into her eye a little bit, and once we soften it up, you don't really see that so much, but the light actually becomes kind of flat. So now let's move it in, I guess, closer and more tipped down, and we'll make a really short shadow. So short shadow would be like middle of the day. Even though Fernando's in the shot, it's okay. We can see that the shadow is much, much shorter here. It's probably about, maybe 3/4 her length to half of her length. And let's see what it looks like up close. Yeah, as suspected. It's kind of long shadows coming down her face, kind of middle of the daylight. The eyelashes create like a really long shadow, which makeup artists love, but we don't for this, sorry. Bring your chin up though. I mean, in the right circumstances, this could be kind of cool. But it's definitely very, very limiting. Okay, so let me look at this. Yes, this is basically overhead light. It's almost never good. Even once I softened it up, it's just not a very flattering light. But it's interesting to do, and these kind of tests are the way that you can kind of change and improve your photography. Just see how different light feels against different things. So this is kind of a fun experiment here. No matter how much you shoot and how much you use lighting, it's often good just to kind of play around to get a feel for how different light looks, in different ways. And I think we've seen that this kind of original Da Vinci style light is actually pretty cool. I wouldn't normally use it, like I say, for a female subject. I think it's a little shadowy, but by softening it up, I actually think it could be really nice for portraits, and I may find myself using that style of light more often. Thanks for watching. Be sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel, and I'll see you next time on set.